Edible Thoughts Makes. My name is Stephanie, and this channel is where I share with you my works in progress, finished projects, things I'm cooking up, books I'm reading, funny things the kids say. My hope is that as you watch this episode and the previous episodes that you'll find some inspiration along the way. This is episode 23. We are now into the second week of April. Since school is now all online, where we're doing distance learning, we just finished our second week of doing so. The kids are home 24/7, I am home 24/7, and we are doing our part in the community effort of sheltering in place and flattening the curve so we can, I guess, get this pandemic over with and save more lives. There are lots of reasons to be sheltering in place, and so far in our state, we are still allowed to go outside and encouraged to go outside while practicing social distancing, but to go out into nature and go to the parks and walk the trails and get some fresh air. And as the weather is getting nicer and nicer, though it did snow earlier this week off and on, and we're supposed to get several inches this weekend, but that doesn't mean we can't go outside. So we have been doing so. The kids and I have been enjoying some picnics in the yard and collecting pine cones and just seeing all the new growth coming up. So this episode is going to be a little different than the other ones. I'm popping in to just kind of give a quick intro and check in and let you know we're all doing okay. But because everybody is home, there isn't really a good chunk of uninterrupted time for me to just sit down and kind of show you what I've been working on and things I finished. Not only that, I feel like my brain space isn't in the same capacity, or my mindset's just not quite there to organize my stuff in a way that I want to present it to you. And so instead, like I said, I wanted to pop in and just say hello and just kind of check in, but the rest of the video is going to be kind of a compilation of things that I have been up to in the last, I guess, 2-ish weeks or so, and some footage of just blue skies and green grass, or greening up grass and plants growing and things like that, and some of the progress on projects that I've been working on. I have picked up several new projects and finished up some works in progress from previously, and my hope is that in the future I will be able to sit down and go through more in detail my works in progress and my finished projects and tell you a little bit more about that. But until then, enjoy this footage, and in my description box below, I will post links to all of my Ravelry project pages, so if you are interested in finding out more about the projects that I have been working on, you can check out my notes there. I am still most active on my Instagram account at edible.thoughts.makes, so if you're interested in figuring out or finding out more about what's going on there, check out that account. I have found a little bit of time to sit down at the piano recently. I used to play a lot, so I guess I have played for 30 years, and a little breaks in my most recent times, just from having kids and going to grad school, and a piano isn't exactly the easiest thing to lug around. But when I was in college and grad school, I did play more violin, because the violin is much easier to take with you places. But it's nice to be able to sit down and have some bench time. My fingers are definitely rusty, but it is fun to get playing again. So I'll include a little bit of that music here, and I hope it brings you a little peace and calm that it brings me to sit at the bench and play a little bit of music. So with that, I hope you enjoy the rest of this video, and I hope you are doing really well. Take care of yourselves, and together we will come out of this. So thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye. Bye.